Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. Hey, we have a wonderful guest in studio. You know I'm going to love him because he's got a little friend with him. It's Chris Dupuis, and he's a veterinarian, and he's the owner and operator of Wheatland Animal Hospital. Welcome. And you've brought Lily.
I did.
So, Dr. Dupuis, tell me a little bit about Wheatland Animal Hospital, where you're located and what you do.
Yeah, we're on the southwest corner of town. My father opened it in 1990, and we're basically a full-service veterinary hospital. We do a lot of wellness, preventive medicine care, and we do a lot of special like soft tissue surgery, some cancer care, we're all animal lovers, and there's 5 veterinarians there and about 25 full-time staff.
Wow, that's a pretty big operation. So you kind of followed in Dad's footsteps a little bit?
I did. Yeah, I never really got any pressure, but my family's pretty happy that that's the route I chose.
How much has veterinarian medicine changed? Now we seem to be so much more into preventative care and dental and cancer care for our animals have taken on a new importance in 20 years.
It's a wonderful question because they've been very important family members for years. Just as the nature of medicine and people's interests change, then our job changes big time. Preventive care really, just like with the human side, we've really appreciated the fact that it's really important, all the way from some pretty basic things like heartworm prevention to some things such as when animals become like middle age, we do a lot of blood and urine screening just to identify problems before they become big issues. So those have become a bit more popular. But also just the dynamic of just people's desires have changed. I think years ago people wanted you to tell them the plan and what to do, and now I think owners have a lot more interest in being part of the decision-making process. So our job is all about presenting some good options and helping owners decide the best option for them and their animal.
Well, and I think we have so much more options. You mentioned cancer care. 10, 20 years ago, there would probably be, one not so good option, and now there's so much more treatment, and our family friend gets a lot more.
We're lucky because there's a lot of great research that's been done in the last 10 years that help us find some very fair treatments to animals. The one thing we will always believe is that anything punishing is not fair to an animal simply because they can't choose to do it.
Right.
So we need to offer them choices that are not only fair to them but fair to owners as well. The word chemotherapy is really scary to people because they equate that with punishing treatments, and thankfully the chemotherapy we choose in dogs is really designed to be well tolerated. They don't get sick, they don't get ill, they actually tolerate it just fine and benefit tremendously in some cases from it.
That's incredible that how far we've come. And the other thing I think that people often overlook with their dogs, and I would imagine cats, so I think with cats it's a whole lot trickier, is dental work.
Yeah.
That, you and I go to a dentist, but I don't think about necessarily dental hygiene and that for my pup.
Yeah. One thing I ask clients to think about is like if they had a problem with their teeth or with like their leg or something like that, what they'd address first. And I would probably address my mouth before anything else because it's such an important part of your health. I think a lot of times we viewed dental care with animals as more cosmetic in the past, and it is the farthest from the truth. Like it's all about comfort and being as pain-free as possible. We definitely believe in preventive dental care, but also when animals have tooth infections or mouth pain, we find it to be probably the most important part of the body to address and make as pain-free as possible.
Well, and when you stop to think about it, they use their mouth so much more than we do, so it makes sense to
think. It absolutely does, yeah.
And to think about some dental care. You were mentioning how things have changed and how we care more. Nutrition for the dog has really changed too. I mean, it used to be some dog chow, and now you can buy raw food for your dog. And so how does that play into the role of what you do?
Another wonderful question. There's so many options these days, and so many different recommendations too. I mean, you can look at a blog site or a veterinarian or a food store, and you're getting a lot of different recommendations. We really try to focus on the basics, looking at legitimate nutritional concepts and making sure that people are following those, and making sure we don't take the bait of a lot of foods are a little bit overpriced and they work on some exciting human concepts. People like to hear about high proteins and all natural, and sometimes it's a little bit misleading and a little bit overpriced. So we just try to help people find some fair options that are well priced but also really healthy. for the
That's
animals,
awesome.
too.
Well, and I think we often look to our veterinarian for some good advice, so that's nice to know. Because I'm not a dog expert. I look for veterinarians to kind of help me out with that. One of the things I think you do that is really neat is that you volunteer and help with a bunch of local rescue groups here. Tell me who they are and what you do and why.
Yeah, there's 3 primarily that we work with. One is called Romp Rescue. They're actually based in Chicago. Another one is called Famous Fidos. They're based in Chicago. And then another one is called As Good as Gold. And they're a national organization. They work with golden retrievers particularly. A lot of them are just sort of accidental meetings. Like one of our clients worked for Famous Fido, and she's been wonderful. And just an acquaintance of mine worked for the Romp Rescue, and we developed a relationship a year ago. It's been great. The animals are just wonderful. They're really in dire need of the care, and it's really neat to make them really adoptable. And we can do it in a really low-cost fashion. So it's just a great thing. It really brings up the morale of the staff too. People really enjoy taking these animals that have very little chance and both behaviorally and medically rehabilitating them to be adoptable pets.
That's neat, and I think it's one of the things that make, for me, a veterinarian choice. Tell me a little bit about your veterinarian assistance. I know you wanted to mention that you have a large staff, and we often come to see you, but we often interact with the vet assistant.
Yeah, the vet assistants they're wonderful, and I think sometimes a bit underappreciated. They really do the dirty work. Like as veterinarians, we do surgery, we diagnose animals, and we examine animals. We make a lot of phone calls, but when it comes to the x-rays and the blood work and hospitalizing the animals, all the nursing care, that's all the assistants and the technicians. So it really is a very underappreciated job, and they're tremendously valuable to our clinic. They're also a big part of client education too. Like we really do the best job trying to educate the clients, and the technicians are a huge part of that job.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you stopping by and bringing Lily. She has been so awesome, just sitting there nice and quiet and calm, enjoying her world here. So it's nice to know you and get to know a little bit about Wheatland Animal Hospital.
Thanks, Liz.
No problem. We'll be right back with more Business Connection.